Hey guys, hello, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Steven. The kids are around somewhere. Oh, there's Eleanor behind me. So hi, yeah, I look a bit of a mess. I do apologize. I shaved for the first time today in like 5 days and I'm just a mess. And I am drawn. I've just lost all of my energy. I spent a fair amount of time today, most of the day, trying to film for a video to celebrate today. Today is my 18th anniversary of sobriety, and that's not a surprise to many of you because a lot of you have reached out to me through email, messenger, through cards in the mail, and it's been very touching. It's been really hard to believe the number of people who have reached out and said, hi, congratulations, we remembered. And it got me very emotional. And I was filming a video about my sobriety. And while I have you early in the video, because some people kind of cut out of the video later on, while I have you here, I'd like to ask you a question. So today, of course, there's going to be a story first, right? So today, being my 18th anniversary of sobriety, I wanted to film a video about my sobriety. Now, I've threatened to do this for almost 2 years now, but I figured today I would give it a stab. And I filmed a lot of little clips, and I edited them, and I deleted them because the last thing I wanted was to have my story be edited or look edited, because honestly, the thing that I think I connect with when I talk to somebody, especially about something about recovery, when their lives are changed and saved, the last thing I want is editing involved. I really want a transparent one-on-one conversation. So I filmed a lot today, hours and hours, no joke, hours, deleting almost all of it. The one thing that I kept is a 50-minute long video that is me just talking about how alcohol and drugs sort of entered my life at a young age, how it complicated things, and how the bad choices and challenges laid on top of each other for more and more challenge later, talking about physical abuse and checking out of the party yeah. So I shared a lot, and it was really emotional. And it's 50 minutes, and I only got in that video, that 50 minutes, I only got to the point where I was just got sober, when I first got sober and went to my first meeting. I would have to film a second video. It would probably be around the same length of time, about early sobriety, what I had to do to get sober, stay sober, and the challenges associated with that, and also, of course, the rewards of being sober. And it wouldn't be my whole life story, because I'm 51. That would be a long video, but it would be fairly as long as the first half. So my question for you is, would you like to see me post that? It's a 50-minute long video. Of course, the next half I would film maybe tomorrow, because I can't do it tonight. I am drained. So what do you think? If you think I should post that, if you think you would find it interesting, or honestly, if I were going to be honest, I didn't actually film it for you guys so much, sorry. I filmed it, I think, for people who might be searching on YouTube for hope. And most videos out there, when you look, if you Google, or if you go on YouTube and search, how I got sober, most of the videos are like 15 minutes long, and they're very topical. They're very light. They just touch on the very surface. And you know me, I just take a nosedive and go down to the bottom of the pool. So it's not a flattering video, but I think I would have found it interesting and useful. I don't know. But let me know what you think in the comment section. If I should post it, if you'd be interested, certainly leave a comment below, and I'll think about it. Yeah. So, so to celebrate my anniversary, I really didn't do anything. Today was a fantasy day. Now, I'll tell you, I am going to go back. If this were 2002, in June, July, if you had asked me what my fantasy day would have been like, if you would ask me what my 18th anniversary would ideally look like, what it would look like is that I would sleep in late, maybe on the last day of a vacation for a job that I love, that I'm good at. Correct? That I would wake up and face someone I love, which is right now 3 cats. That I would take a nice long nap, that I would eat some good food, I would connect with friends, and that would be my fantasy. It's not a real luxurious, sexy fantasy, but that was my fantasy, is to be connected, to be loved, to have the ability to love someone else, and to be happy, and not even happy, content. That's the real goal for me, is to be peaceful and content, and to not worry or live in fear. And that was my day today. I woke up late on my last day of vacation. I gave the cats some treats. I let Buddy in, gave them some treats. We all took a nap. I woke up late. I had a bowl of cereal, which is, you know, very exciting. And I took a nap, and then I tried to pick up a trip on open time for some extra money. And then I have a piece of cake in the fridge. It's a piece of coconut cake from the grocery store. It's not as good as Publix, but it's a good piece of cake. I've had it in the past. And so that was my day. And that I'm crying about it, that I'm getting emotional about it, is something else, because part of why I'm getting a little teary-eyed is, of course, I'm a little tired, but I received some cards from you guys and countless messages on Facebook Messenger, and each one of them has been such a treat and such a treasure, that you guys remembered today, that so many of you remembered today is important to me. It's the most important day of the year for me. It's the day that I was saved. My life was saved that day. It's been saved a couple times, but I got a couple cards today. Patty sent me this one. This is a birthday card that she said she sent me. It's a belated birthday card. But look at that. Oh, so cute. This one is from Amy, which I'll read in a moment, because that just sent me over the edge. This is also from Patty. This is to celebrate my anniversary. And this one is from Kathleen, I think, and Tamara. Yes. Keep using your positive voice for good deeds. And that is a Monet painting. I'm very fond of the Impressionist movement myself. And this is a card from Amy. And I'm going to have to center myself for a moment before I read this, because I want to read some of this too. But look how sweet this is. Now, of course, it's a cat. It's a little rainbow. It's Gay Pride Month. I'm not sure if she's included that just by chance. Oh, you know, fun fact. This will help get me off of this emotional train here. June 28th, my anniversary, 2002. June 28th, 1969, the Gay Pride riots took place in New York City. Today, on my sobriety anniversary, also happens to be the anniversary for the most important push towards gay rights in this country. So the gay rights movement started years and years before, but these riots started today, 51 years ago, and they changed the face of the world. And the first people to throw those first bricks, because it was a riot, it wasn't a parade, the first people to throw those bricks and to start fighting for their lives, transgendered black and brown women. Fun fact. So now that I'm off this emotional train, this video is all over the place. Thank you for watching. Oh, Patty sent me some money. as well. That is going to go to buy some cat food tomorrow because I forgot they closed now. And I think Amy sent me this Amazon card as well. But this card that Amy wrote, I want to read some of this to you because it is, to me, probably the, let me just read it. So, the sky's the limit. Congratulations. Here's to celebrating the day you started living again, which is very true. Keep it up. And I love her little exclamation point. It says a little heart at the bottom instead of a dot. 18 years of sobriety is such an awesome milestone to reach. Thank you for always bringing joy to others. You're so open and transparent with us, and it continues to be a reminder to look for opportunities to be a light for others, just as you are for us. Hugs and congrats on your anniversary, my friend. Lots of love, Amy. Now, I start to get teary-eyed again. I cry a lot in my videos, don't I? What other YouTuber cries as much as I do in their videos? The reason I'm getting emotional over this, and it's part of me going back and thinking about what I shared today in the video I made, was if even one of you, if Amy sees me as that positive light in the world, which I think is weird, because it's me. If even one person feels that way, it's just such a monumental sea change. It's like a parallel universe, because before I got sober and soon after I got sober, I was the entire total antithesis to what Amy just wrote in that card. Selfish, self-centered, undisciplined, just a tornado in the form of a human being. The things I did to get what I thought I needed, you know, just so that some of you guys reached out and wished me congratulations and thanked me for being who I am today, just kind of rocks my center. So, I want to say thank you for those cards. And I want to show something else off. My friend Randy sent me this. And she sent it to me like 2 weeks ago. But it came in this cute little, sweet little bag. And the cats, I don't know which one of them found it. They just reached it on top of the counter behind me. And they, of course, it's just delicious to play with. It's the bag. So it went disappearing, and then I found it, and then it disappeared again, and then I found it. Andy sent me this. It's a keychain, which is going to go on my lunch bag, I think, because it'll break on my suitcase, and it won't. My keychain, I'll destroy it in my pocket. But it's got this super cute little plain charm. Can you see that? Does that work? Oh, that does work. I see people doing that. Oh, does this focus now? And then on the other, there's a strap here that makes me think of the strap that is on our pins when we arm and disarm our doors. But on the strap, it says, "Fly safe." She said she thought of me when she saw it, and then she had to send it to me. This is another example of what, like Amy's card, is. Most of my life, when people thought of me, it was not, oh, Stephen would like that, let me send it to him. It was, oh, could you not let Stephen know about the party? You know, I was uninvited to a lot of parties. So that Randy thought of me and then sent this to me, moved me deeply, as these cards and every message does. Daniel, all the comment, you guys just make every single day, and that today was so important to me. I just, I can't thank you enough. All right, so I've been gushing about that for 15 minutes, and I apologize. So I do have another sort of question for you. Oh, did I even ask you about the video I made today? Hold on, let me check. All right, so I did ask you about the video. Something else that's at the top of my head, and I kind of have a question for you. In the past couple weeks, I've been wrestling with the desire to move into a larger apartment versus the reality of my financial situation. And so it's just moving into a larger apartment and spending considerably more just wouldn't make any sense. So I'm going to stay where I am for now, save up money so I have more choices in the future, right? So that's where I am. And that's where I'm staying for a moment, just kind of keeping it focused and saving what I can. Well, I was at IKEA this week. I rented a car. I splurged since I wasn't going anywhere or doing anything for my vacation. I was going to splurge and rent a car to go to Home Goods to get another piece of cat furniture, which is where Eleanor is sleeping. I got a small one. I got a second one that's on the table that I bought. So they have their side of the table. I have my side of the table. And I went to IKEA and I got this duplicate of the table I had. They didn't have 3 of the things I wanted, and I was losing my mind. I was so frustrated. And after I finished kind of venting to the camera, I didn't keep that video for anything because it wasn't good. I hear this sound behind me, and it's a young woman and her little daughter trying to maneuver these enormous boxes that dwarfed them. And so I rushed over. I was like, oh my God, let me help you. And so the mom and I managed to, well, we made a mess. So I'm sorry, IKEA. We made a mess. But between the two of us, we managed to get these bed frames and headboards and stuff onto her cart. And afterwards, we stopped and had this little conversation, and it was just lovely. So she asked what I did. I asked what she did. It turns out she's a real estate agent. And I said, oh, that's funny. I've sort of had this idea of moving into a larger place, but, my budget is And she's like, well, I don't do a lot of rentals, but I do sell a fair amount in Las Vegas. I wish I had just had my camera on Claire because she was sleeping and having a dream, and I just woke her up and she was poor thing. But she said, she doesn't do many rentals, but she sells in my area. And she's like, well, what's your credit score like? And I said, it's probably around 705, 710, something like that. It's taken me 15 years to get there because my credit score, if you can have a negative credit score, that's what my score was like 15 years ago. It's taken me a lot of work to get where I am right now. And, and we talked about numbers and stuff. She's like, you could totally buy. She said, in fact, you probably should. You'd be paying more for rent than you would in a lot of locations for you buying a place. A mortgage would cost you less. I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah, the interest rate is ridiculously low. And she said there's lots of programs right now to help first-time buyers with down payments and things. I'm like, huh. So the seed was, the seed was already back here. That was a fantasy. But she was talking about these things. I'm like, this makes so much sense. It sounds so good. And so then I spoke to a friend of mine, a good friend of mine. He was actually my sponsor for a short time. He flips houses for a living. So he buys cheap, he improves them and sells them for more. And he became a real estate agent just so he can flip his own houses. So I asked him, I said, what are your thoughts around this? How much money would I have to put down for a house, say, in my neighborhood with these prices? And so we talked about it, and he's like, well, you have to get pre-approved for a loan first. But he just went through a process with someone who is in a similar financial situation that I am. The kid that he was helping had about $4,000 put aside for a down payment. I don't have that much exactly, but close with all of my unemployment and all that stuff saved aside. And he said that the guy bought a condo for $150,000. His down payment was had to be $4,800 or something, but somehow he got the $800 he needed. And his mortgage is $1,000 or less, and it's a 1,200 square foot condo. And I'm like, and it's not in a rotten neighborhood. It's not in a great one, but it's not in a rotten neighborhood. And I'm like, And so I talked with him a little bit about my numbers, my future, if I stay in Vegas for a few more years and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, you know, if you buy a place, you can just rent it out. Or, and I thought, well, if I rent it, I had a place. If I didn't rent it out, I could have a crash pad. And that would actually make me a little bit of money. So, of course, the seed is planted even further in my head. So now I am thinking, and I wouldn't mind your opinions. This is actually one of those few times I would really encourage you to leave an opinion below, is what your thoughts are. I know. If I stay where I am, I would have to stay here at least until October or November to make sure I still have a job come October, right? So if I stay here through, say, December or January, and I save up every dollar I can for the next however long that is, 5 months, 6 months. If I save that much money up, as much as I can, and if I can pick up a couple extra trips, one maybe each month, that would be a considerable amount of money compared to what I have right now in terms of putting down a deposit for a house. So, what do you think? Does that sound ridiculous? My thoughts, I have two thoughts, is should I buy a car first? Because having a car would be very, very nice. Or do I go for the house first? My thought is that if I go with the house first, there is an automatic, I start having, I start banking money for myself in terms of, I can't think of the word. But that, you know, I start putting money into the house. That's not money I'm going to lose. But versus a car loses its value almost immediately since it walks off the lot, right? And I can continue living the life I have with taking the bus and Uber when I need to. But if I have any money, I think putting it towards a condo. My fantasy is to have a small house so I can have a yard that I could fence in for Buddy. I know. So that is kind of in my head. My friend Dale set me up with this app. I forget what it's called, M something or other, that allows me to see every property around that's either for sale, under foreclosure, or that will be on sale soon. So, and I can see all the numbers and all the real numbers and stuff like that. So he's giving me a little bit of a window to look into in my neighborhood. One of the things that's solidifying this thought, like maybe I could afford it. If I buckle down and I save every dollar and put it towards a down payment and pick up extra trips. Now, boy, this video is going to be long and all over the place. I'm crying. I'm talking about buying a house. So I was able to, a friend of mine was dropping a trip, and it is a trip that is on the 22nd. It's on the 22nd of July. It's a total of 23 hours and 6 minutes of credit. Times my pay rate, that's a lot of money for a trip. And I still have 6 days off in a row, and I'm trying to pick up a trip through open time, a 3-day trip that would actually give me another 15 hours. So 40 extra hours times my pay rate is a fair amount of money. It's a good chunk of money, and plus the per diem for those trips. I could put that in my savings, and that would get me probably even a third of the way towards a low security deposit. You know? So these are the thoughts I'm having. What do you think? Am I making any sense whatsoever? Does this sound dumb? So I'm going to pause for a moment because I have my computer up. I want to see if I actually got my the trip I tried to pick up out of open time. One sec. All right, so I don't know if I actually was able to pick that trip up or not, but I have like 99 hours or something right now, and if I get this extra trip, it'll put me at the max amount of hours I can work for the month, and I'll still have a couple of days off between each trip. So I'm crossing my fingers that I get one of the trips I bid for out of open time, because that would be, honestly, if I get one of these higher credit trips on top and the trip I got from my friend, that would be $1,200. I don't know, I'm guessing, or more. I don't know, probably $1,200. And that is a good amount of money that I could put towards a down payment. So I might be spinning my wheels. I might be getting kind of excited and obsessive, possibly. But those are my thoughts. So right now, I am going to stop talking and then eat a piece of cake I got at the supermarket. It's a piece of coconut cake that is yummy. It's not quite Publix, like Publix has the best cakes, but it's very good. And so even though it's 11 o'clock at night, I'm gonna eat this damn cake. I don't have to really be asleep tonight until like 1, or I can stay up a little bit later. All right, so yeah, I think that's it. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's a little screwy and a little all over the place. It might not have been so crazy if I hadn't been filming all day long. But thank you very much, and I will talk to you guys later. Fly safe.